Welcome, Gulfstream leadership team and Gulfstream University staff. Today, I'll present the PBL lesson plan and PBL implementation plan for the G650 eMED solution. This is an exciting new curricula to spark creativity and innovation at Gulfstream using a project-based learning approach. Although the interim solutions have been proposed for the G650 main entrance door, a root cause has not been found. So this 5-day course using project-based learning will incentivize select cross-functional employee teams to find the root cause leading to a final solution and gain eligibility to enter the Innovation Award contest. You may ask yourself, what is project-based learning and why should we use it in this case? It's been used as a design methodology for teaching in domains such as medicine, engineering, science, and economics for over 40 years. PBL has proven to be effective when it comes to long-term retention and performance improvement. Other reasons to use PBL include authentic work, real-world solutions, a sense of purpose, so students persist through challenges, authentic audiences where students show what they know, integrated social and emotional and 21st century skills such as teamwork, conflict resolution, and communication, encourages belonging and inclusion, diverse perspectives, and invites a collaboration-based culture, overcoming professional silos. Here's a course description with the topics listed that we're going to cover, including PBL definition and application, roles of participant and facilitator, driving questions construction, learning goals finalization, review of prior knowledge of G650 eMED components and systems, communities of content from cross-functional team representatives and stakeholders, basic troubleshooting, hands-on G650 eMED troubleshooting to determine jointly designed solutions, collaboration, communication, innovation, and critical thinking, revision, reflection in the way of turnover reports and feedback, presentation of the product demonstrating and defending their research, learning, and solution they've selected, and the criteria for the Innovation Award. The performance objectives for this 30-hour course include identify the root cause and design a potential solution to the eMED issue, develop a presentation to Gulfstream leadership, and become eligible for entry into the Innovation Award contest. And there are prerequisites for both the facilitators and the students. We're going to conduct a 2-day course on understanding the PBL process and connecting theory to practice for facilitators. We'll bring in an outside consultant, probably from the University of Georgia, to teach this 2-day course. And then students will have taken the AS 111 course, eMED operation and rigging familiarization. Our target audience will be made up of typically 2 production technicians, 2 mechanical engineers, and 2 service center technicians. These would have been high-performing employees recommended by their supervisors. And here's a list of PBL elements typically covered in a PBL course. First one is significant content, where you determine what you know and what you need to know, what's relevant to the course. The driving questions, where you establish the learning goals, start with the end in mind. Student choice and voice, so students choose the direction of their learning. It's more autonomous, student-centered learning, where they use inquiry and discovery. And then they're going to use some of those 21st century skills we talked about: collaboration, communication, technology, update their presentation skills, critical thinking, knowledge management, and intelligent listening. They're going to use inquiry, innovation, and structure facilitator to make learning meaningful. And this is where the product really takes shape in this area. Feedback and revision. So we'll assess, redirect, rethink, and enforce success through feedback, peer and facilitator feedback. And then the final product, a publicly presented product with real-world competence, demonstrating their outcomes and giving them learning ownership. And throughout the PBL implementation, these are just elements of that, where they start with in-depth inquiry, the driving question, need to know, voice and choice, revision and reflection, and then that public audience, that presentation at the end, where they'll use significant content and 21st centuries throughout the process. These are the proposed learning objectives. However, PBL encourages complete student participation. Again, that student voice and choice. So we'll also give the employees a chance to tweak these objectives for themselves throughout the course. You'll notice the focus of the module on the left and the specific tasks on the right. So for module 1, we're talking about the introduction to PBL, introducing PBL and the elements, discussing the student and the instructor roles, defining the student voice and choice expectations, determining a skill set for simultaneous team outcomes, and discuss inquiry innovation in our culture of innovation at Gulfstream, and then forming that driving question and establishing those learning goals. Module 2 is called Communities of Content. It's mainly dealing with activating their prior knowledge, determining significant knowledge, what they know, what they need to know, providing those communities of content with the knowledge bases and expertise. We're going to show videos of those G650 component systems and review all those things they did in AS 111, share cross-functional expertise, consider multiple student perspectives, and review that previous Tiger Team presentation where they came up with the interim solutions for the G650 eMED door. And then we're always going to have reflection at the end of each module where they write up a turnover report with their findings and their plans for launching the project. Module 3 actually gets into the inquiry, innovation, troubleshooting, and solutions. So we're going to reinforce the inquiry, innovation skill set, review project status and plans, begin troubleshooting and determining root cause and potential solutions, and conduct formative assessment by offering and receiving peer critique and feedback. So small groups will map out plans for working in the OJT lab. We'll conduct tours and show troubleshooting videos and get them all primed to start the troubleshooting process. And again, they'll do a reflection on how to continue this inquiry to solution in module 4. And module 4 is a continuation of this. They'll actually compare their ideas between the 2 3-person teams, conduct a formative assessment by offering and receiving peer critique and feedback, troubleshoot and determine that root cause and potential solutions, identify the root cause, categorize and finalize their potential solutions. So they're going to come to a final solution between the 2 teams and determine which one they'll select for their entire team presentation at the end, which comes to module 5, which is the presentation day. They'll determine the final solution between the 2 groups, develop the presentation, meet the presentation and award criteria. So we've got some rubrics for the presentation and rubrics for the award criteria, and conduct summative assessment by presenting findings to the facilitator. And the facilitator will help them with the innovation award submissions. So here's our rubric for the project itself, the eMED project, kind of breaking down by standards or with modules. So we'll go through that as we go through every day. We'll go through these and see if they make sure they meet these criteria and these rubrics. And then at the very end, they'll make their presentation to their team, to their overall team and the facilitator, and they'll get comments on their team performance. The Innovation Award we discussed, applicable student teams will be invited to present at the Continuous Improvement Conference. Student teams will present and justify their G650 eMED solutions. Leadership will judge the presentations, and winners will be presented with $500 Amazon cards each. And here's that Innovation Award rubric the Quality Improvement Team has come up with. So there's 6 benchmarks for that with questions. And then we're going to get into, if you don't have any questions on the lesson plan, we're going to get into the implementation plan. So we've identified stakeholders, of course, as a leadership team, customers, instructional designers, supervisors, Gulfstream University personnel, LMS administrator, OJT administrator, training administrator, IT personnel, facilitators, selected cross-functional participants and students, and quality improvement personnel. So please let me know if you see anybody that's missing from this list. We'll need resources, of course, and along with our typical computer and softwares and LMS to launch the course, we're going to be tied very tightly with the OJT lab. So we'll need the OJT eMED mockups to troubleshoot these issues on the doors, OJT equipment, OJT tools. It's a highly collaborative course, so we'll need roundtables for discussion, our regular supplies, flip charts and whiteboards, etc., a facilitator guide, employee training materials, and for the presentation part, a lectern and a projector. And personnel will include stakeholders we discussed previously. Products will include the teacher lesson plan presentation, student lesson plans, student exercises and participant guide, implementation report, implementation presentation, pulling up the Tiger team presentation and reviewing it. And the most important product is the student team eMED solution project presentation to leadership, the OJT eMED mockups, the eMED project rubrics, the innovation award criteria, and the innovation award. And here are some of the tasks we'll need to implement for this project. We hope to get your stakeholder approval by December 17th, 2021, and then we'll launch into the first quarter of 2022. The quality implementation team is already working on the criteria for the innovation award, but we're going to give them through the 14th of January to finalize. Instructional designers are working on the training materials, and they'll finish up January 21st. Facilitator PBL training through University of Georgia for the 2-day course is going to be scheduled for January 10th and 11th. We'll need to link all those videos from the AS 111 course into the facilitator guide, so we're given time for that. Schedule these experts to come speak to the class, print the course materials, set up and test the OJT mock-ups, and need IT personnel to test the computers. That'll be finished up by the January 28th. We'll send the letters out to the supervisors January 31st for the recommendations for students. We'll hold a pilot course with Gulfstream University personnel, facilitators, and OJT personnel from January 31st to February 4th. And then the ID team will make the training material revisions. We'll obtain the training roster and confirm prerequisites based on the supervisor's recommendations. So the training administrator needs to do that. We'll schedule the course through the LMS, schedule the classroom, schedule the OJT lab, print the course materials for the actual 6 sessions we're going to present the course, which will go through February 14th and end March 25th. So there'll be 6 30-hour courses, and the assessments will follow in with the courses. The facilitator and peers will help with that. The Innovation Award submissions will be conducted, the facilitator will assist with that through the courses themselves. And then the quality implementation team will determine Innovation Award eligibility based on the submissions. And then the Innovation Award Conference and final award and presentations will happen April 26th through April 27th, 2022. And then just to give you a sample, this is a letter to the supervisors we've drafted up, just explaining about the project, what project-based learning is, and how they can become eligible for the Innovation Award, and encouraging them to recommend their highest performers for this opportunity. Thank you for your time and attention. Please review all this information very carefully once you get back to your desks, and let me know if there's anything missing or we need any additions of any type. And once I gather all your comments, and I will send out a revised presentation, and we hope to get our approval from you on December 17th so we can move forward in 2022. Thank you again.